You know, that's probably.
Let me know. You all set? And we're streaming too? Yeah? Okay. So, good morning and welcome to the Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025 Idlewild Board of Commissioners meeting. It's 9 a.m. We call the meeting to order, and the first thing we do is approve the agenda. I think we'll have a brief non-public session at the end of this under RSA 91A and the clause that protects the reputation of people if we say something accidentally that gets misconstrued. Unintentionally, I should say. Any changes to the agenda that you'd like to see?
No?
All in favor of the agenda with the non-public session, say aye.
Aye.
3-0 on that. Next, we go to approval of the minutes of 7:15 and the 18. We recessed the meeting of the 15th after we went into non-public session, and we reconvened on the 18th, and we did a non-public session continuation, and then we adjourned the non-publics and went into a little public business that we'll repeat here, so it's on video record. Any modifications to the minutes?
Yeah, I got one real minor one. If you go to section 8, public appearance, bullet point 3, it says Paula advises that she makes herself available. I think probably Paula advises that she can make herself available. That's it. Otherwise, look good to me.
I'm bringing mine up. I guess we had two versions of it, and I started to mark up the first one and the second one.
Yeah, that's okay, because most of it was, well, actually, I sent two versions of the first one because I noticed quite a bit, and I was like, I better send it again.
Okay, so
So which one are you looking at?
I guess I start to mark up the first one. And Appinville, under the DPW report, Appinville is spelled V-E-L. And
What do I get, A?
A-L, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of places where we mentioned Bergdorf. One place you spell it correctly, but the first time it appears in the DPW report, you have it B-E-R, it's B-U-R,
Yeah,
as in hamburger.
yeah. Do a search.
Then, under my report, there's a bullet that says, Mark removes some low tree growth around an area of Idlewild Beach parking lot to allow better viewing. And I would think that we would add viewing of the lot.
Yeah,
That's the whole idea, is that you can see into the parking lot.
yeah.
It's also to let more street light in. I went out there, oh, that should be my report. And that's all I have, I think. That's it for that. With those fixes, how do you vote to approve the minutes of the 15th and the 18th?
Aye.
3-0?
Aye.
3-0 on approving the amended minutes. And now at 9:03, we go to the approval of two manifests, or one manifest, the operations and payroll.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion that we approve an operations and payroll manifest of the amount of $84,328.25.
Second.
So we're gonna discuss this manifest. And the biggest feature of this manifest is we're paying the annual Primex insurance bill, which is now $72,637. That makes up 3/4 of, or 90% of this manifest. We have payroll totaling, well, we have payroll for 4 people.
Yep.
3 full-time employees and 1 part-time employee. And we're paying a fuel bill to the state of New Hampshire for $1,321. No, that's to Easton, I think, that's Easton Propane. They deliver fuel, diesel fuel to us. And we're paying the state of New Hampshire $116.17 from the pumps at the yard, state
Yeah.
yard. And then there's the monthly bill for the copying machine, which is $92.57.
Yep.
Any discussion on this manifest?
Yeah, the insurance bill is a shocker, but I just re-reviewed the budget, and obviously they told us way back when we prepared this budget, that's what
Yes.
it was gonna be, and that's what it is.
They tell us in October,
Yeah,
Yep.
well,
every year.
I'm glad there wasn't any changes to that,
Yeah, no, they can't.
I don't
can't?
think they
Okay.
could, yeah.
Once they release it,
that's it.
that is the set for 2025.
Okay, well,
So,
that's good to know, I did
Yep.
not know that. And,
yep, we had it set.
Another thing is, we get an Excel spreadsheet of the payroll, and Jennifer has been putting the tabs in with the tracking of the personal days and vacation
Yes.
time, and
Mhm.
thanks for keeping up with that.
Yeah.
Looks like you're up to date with that, thank you.
I also wanted to ask if I can release the first invoice payment for Belmore.
Well, did the second invoice make
Yeah.
sense to you?
Makes sense to me?
Yeah? I mean, did
They
you
were
see
here
the-
for a while that day, weren't they?
You
Last
did all
week?
day, yeah.
Yeah,
So, I don't know whether he made adjustments to the first invoice
no, we did not.
that showed up in the second invoice.
Nope. Were you looking for adjustments? Because of the time, yeah,
Because his truck broke down.
yeah.
Are you tracking this at all?
I have been, and I kind of looked at it and said that we should be ready to release
The first.
Well,
the first payment.
I
This-
guess you.
and she's got a check for the second payment though, the
Mhm.
invoice
No.
just, you don't have one,
No,
okay,
no, no,
alright,
no.
alright. Okay, no,
Yes,
cause he sent the invoice to me,
yeah.
which is interesting, and I forwarded it
Oh, I did not know that.
to you too, so you could see
So
it.
you have
Oh.
it again twice.
So do you guys see the second invoice?
No, I did not see
Alright,
the
so-
second
No.
one.
Yeah, it's been sent this morning, cause that's, I think, when I got it.
You
Right.
saw it then,
Well, I guess the question is, we have a check we haven't sent yet for X amount. Now we have a second invoice, it all adds up to a total. So does that total equal what the original quote was, or?
that's my question, is I
Okay.
just got the invoice and I didn't know whether anybody had a chance to look at the two to see whether,
I just sent it this morning, so I
Okay,
don't know if
so
you
what,
guys had time.
what was the first invoice, what was the amount for the first invoice?
for this check,
Okay, so that's 2,062.50. Okay, now, we have a second invoice here somewhere?
the second day, the truck really rocked and rolled in here, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Here it is, here's the second invoice.
First thing, they were raring to go.
Yeah,
And that was Bill,
Bill,
first guy was Kevin.
Kevin.
Mhm.
I'm seeing another invoice here for 2,312.50. So if I add those two together, if I got this correctly, it comes up to $4,375. Does that sort of match the original quote?
I can't tell you that off the top of my head.
Okay, then we need to go back and look what the,
So Jennifer's asking if it's okay to release this check, and I guess if it was saying that we can make adjustments to the next invoice,
Correct.
the total, then our answer is yes.
Okay,
You can send this so
wonderful,
that
thank
we
you.
don't wanna hold us, we don't wanna damage his cash flow while we
Right,
Yeah.
debate this with him either, right? Okay. So we're gonna handle this, the second check in the next
Correct.
Next week.
manifest cycle.
Yep.
yes,
Next week or the week after?
Next week.
next week.
Okay. So we're all set with this manifest and that check.
Okay,
And so at 9:09, we move to the DPW report. And the
Okay.
first thing on here is the Little P raft ladder.
Okay, we'll go right into that then. So, yeah, I got an email Friday morning about that ladder missing 2 rungs. So the two rungs were broke off that ladder. So we went out and we inspected it, we saw that, we took it off. we had a couple of older ladders with rungs on them that we thought if they could take them off and re-weld the brackets to bolt the new things on, so we brought the old ladder, the ladder over to Albany Service, cause it's aluminum and it's a little bit different weld than what we're not set up for welding aluminum. So that's where we left that, and then over the weekend noticed how they broke. We left, cause they were bolted to, so there's arms that are on there, and then the ladder fits in between there and it folds down into the water.
Yeah.
So the handles are mounted to the raft itself. We left them there because they bolt right down into the raft.
Right.
Rather than take them off, we would have had to pull the raft in. So we thought we could leave that for the weekend. Well, we couldn't, because that got broke now.
Yeah.
They must have been hauling on those to pull themselves up and to get on there somehow, some
Yeah.
way, and they ripped that off.
Okay.
And this is the first
Wow.
year that we've had to deal with the ladder not making it through the season, right?
No, I've got 2 ladders sitting back at building 2 that have been broken over the years, and this one was a little bit more rugged, and now that one's broke.
Well, 2 summers ago, the ladder at Thusis Beach broke. I remember that. But
Yeah, over the years,
I
I mean,
think last
ladders
year,
break.
I think
Now,
we made the entire summer last year with no ladders broken.
2, well, yeah, but over the course of these rafts,
Yeah.
ladders break.
Yeah.
There's 2 rafts out there that have a different setup than the one on Boulder Beach, and I almost think it was Thusis. I think it's Thusis, and I think it's Geneva, and Idlewise and Boulder, and I'm not positive of this, have those setups. The 2 I really like setup are rugged, tubular. They're all aluminum, but they're just different setups, and those work out real nice. And I don't know why, but I can't seem to ever get those types. Through the company that we deal with, Northern Docks there, out of, wherever it is there in Maine, Great Northern. So I don't know if I should try to research a different ladder setup that's a little more rugged, or what, I don't know what you guys think.
Approximately how much are they?
I think they're around $300. I think it was like $289 the last time we had to purchase a ladder. And again, you get them flimsy aluminum, the way they mount, and then they break. So this one we had reinforced with some ruggeder aluminum,
And it's still broken.
and it's still broke.
I can't help but think that we should get a old-fashioned, heavy-duty wood ladder and bolt it right on to the little beach.
Do they make those? Can you purchase those, or are we talking about a carpenter?
I would think, I doubt you can buy them.
I don't think you could buy them
I
either.
think we need to make it out of at least 2x4, even the rungs. And that won't break. They may stand on top of the ladder, cause if it's there, they have to get up higher. And I think they do that even on the metal ones, they stand on the loops at the top.
To jump
Yeah,
off,
well, I'm
yeah.
sure they do something, because if you use them properly, they shouldn't be breaking the way they break.
Well, I used to do it,
Right. Kids will be kids, you know.
Yes,
the-
we have
the-
proven that you can't buy a raft that a ladder that they can't break. And the worst part of it is, until we find out and have an opportunity to get out there, it's a hazard once they break it.
Yeah.
Because the next family comes by, there's no one out there, they get out there and they don't know until they're out there that they find the ladder's broken, or are on it before they find it's broken. That's what I don't like.
yeah.
On the plus side, they can't flip the rafts now that the new mooring system is in place, no matter how hard they rock up and down on the ladder, which is what I think a lot of them do to try and.
Well, they
really
use
get that
that
thing.
as leverage as well, and
Yeah.
you know, there's all sorts of things that happen.
The only part about making a heavy-duty wooden ladder is it's gonna be bolted on, so it's carriage bolts, and that has to come off. Taking the raft out of the water means taking the ladder off first,
In the
Yeah.
water,
in the water.
which
Or
if you have
getting
to
it
get
close
that
enough that
behind them, underneath, to get, you know,
You'd have to
it's
go under
kind
and get
of,
underneath, yeah.
yeah.
Unless it's brought in to the shore where the ladder first touches on the deeper side, and then it's work, so you're not in a boat trying to do it, you're standing in water doing it. The water in October is, so I don't know. You wanna get another metal one,
Well, for the short term, do we have another all-complete metal one that can be put on there?
We don't.
We don't.
They're
Okay.
parts. Like I said, I kept them
Just
because
parts,
they weren't
okay.
totally terrible at the point where they were broken.
Because
But
the
now
question,
this is beyond
And you're not
repair.
sure you can get the
Can't repair
heavier
it now.
duty one.
Well, I've always tried to find the one I like that's set up on the other two docks there,
Right.
but I never, these are the only ones that I seem to get sold, so I don't know if it's worth trying to do a little research on a different outfit, like I know Silver Lake sells rafts and some parts for rafts, and there's a few other dock companies around that sell these things, I mean,
You'd physically have to look at them.
right. So, I could take a
I
little
think it's
time.
I think it's worth doing the research, but I think you're also telling me right now, with the parts you have on hand, you can't cobble something together quickly so it's ready for this upcoming weekend?
Maybe not,
Maybe not,
Right.
okay.
What's out there now, a broken ladder?
yeah. Yeah, no
That's gotta
ladder.
be taken off,
Right.
right? Yeah.
So I think that should be done as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now we have a raft out there without a ladder, which is better than a raft out there with a broken ladder.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean,
I
there,
mean, we could pull the raft in and not
Yeah.
have the raft out there at all.
And then they'll put
True.
it back out.
and then
Yeah,
we'd have
no,
to
I
put
wouldn't
back
bring it
out
in.
with the new
I
ladder.
would leave it out there. If they wanna climb up on the raft without a ladder,
Okay,
they can.
alright.
limber kids can easily belly
Well,
up
what
on
they're
that.
doing is they're kinda going out there with a raft or a paddle board and climbing up off of that, you know, I mean,
Oh,
that's what I've seen.
So how do you wanna leave it after he takes care of the getting the ladder off today, or when he can? Which is next step? You want him to see if you can find a good metal one?
Yeah, research an all-metal one that's, can purchase and easily put on. I
Okay,
guess for the long term, we got some time, I'm not sure who would do the carpentry work, but look at that option for the future.
okay.
So, we're not going through this drill
did you wanna give him a
every
price
summer or every other
limit?
summer.
I mean, or is he gonna present it to us again before he purchases?
He's gonna find the heaviest duty one. It's gonna be at a higher price than we've ever seen before.
Right, are you allowing him to purchase it at that time, so we can quickly get a ladder out there, or is he gonna have to present his findings first?
Do you remember what the last ladders, the most
Like I
expensive
said, I
ladders you
believe it
bought?
was like $289 or something
But
for a
that's the
ladder.
flimsy one, that's the one you don't
Right.
wanna purchase.
Well, this goes under Parks and Recreation, right? So,
Yep.
should we like approve no more than 500? I'll make a motion that we approve no more than, up to 500, to purchase the heaviest duty swim raft ladder available.
That money can buy.
That money can, available.
All right, we'll
in
take a
short
look
order.
at that, see
Second.
what I can come up with.
Further
Okay.
discussion? All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
3-0.
So, moving on to the Eastern fuel there, the diesel fuel we get from Eastern. I talked with them a while back, cause filling up the Dodges over at the state shed and all that, we weren't going through that as much, so they stopped like doing an automatic delivery. Cause he
Oh.
was showing up and putting 5 gallons in, or, you know, and it was getting kinda, so I got a kinda on an as need be basis. So I saw the tank was low and I had them come and fill it up, so that's why that price is probably high
Higher
there
than we
than what
usually
we've
see
been
it, yeah.
seeing. Plus, we've been running the grader, the backhoe, and the big truck
Oh, yeah,
quite a bit lately. So that's that one.
are you gonna put it back onto auto now that we are using the grader more often? Cause that's the big one that,
Yeah, no, I'll just keep
Go
an
from
eye
there.
on it and go, you know, keep it, you know, with the fuel log and everything else, I kinda gauge what's in it. And so, no, I think right now we'll just keep it as it is. I'll make a phone call when I feel it's half full and we'll keep it going that way. So there was the Eastern fuel. I think that's me. No. So while we're ditching Apron Vale, it's going smooth. There's those 2 driveways that we talked about, those paved driveways when we walked it. I don't know if there's a conversation to be had with them at this point.
You had a conversation with one of the owners, you and Tony did.
We
right?
did. He seemed very agreeable
have
to
any
anything
problem?
that needed to be done. But we never spoke to the other one. But at this point, before we're gonna, you know, we're not done ditching it, but at some point soon, we're gonna be ready to gravel that. And I think that would be the time before we gravel it, to see if we can do the cutting back to create the ditch line there on those two driveways, so.
Do you have the property number,
I
street
believe
number?
they're 22 and 20.
Which one did you already talk to?
Well, I think we should talk to both of them to
Okay.
make sure we got, you know, the okay to
Which
move
one of
forward.
those had the ancient culvert that was found buried when you started digging
We
stuff
did
up?
find one, I believe that was on
It was 20 or
22. Yeah, I think it was 22. We come across an old metal pipe at the bottom of their driveway. So that would probably have to come out. I don't think it would need to be replaced because it's not deep into the ground. I mean, with the right, you know, negative grade and the swale that's gonna be created there, wouldn't need to, I mean, that culvert obviously isn't passing water at this point.
So, do we send a letter to both property owners saying we need to meet with them regarding the entrance to their driveway and the road reconstruction that we're doing,
That would make sense, yeah.
Yes.
ditch reconstruction? So I'll make a motion that we send a letter to the owners of 22 and 20 Appinville Way,
Can I email this if I can?
if you have an address,
Okay,
yeah.
great,
Correspondence.
okay.
Saying we'd like to meet with them to discuss
Mm-hmm,
the ditching and road surface
yeah.
work that we're doing on Appinville Way and their driveway.
Is the pavement into the road or beyond the ditch
It's
line?
into the ditch
Yeah.
line,
Yeah.
they pave across the ditch line.
Okay,
We could just do
We-
it,
yeah.
but we're trying to be,
well, we should certainly get in touch with them, but we might wanna make sure that as soon as we have the if we have a chance to meet with them or something, I think that we should simply let them know that this is the intent.
So,
do you wanna put that in the correspondence?
That, well, that's what I'm asking, is
well,
whether or
yeah,
not you think,
we should say
whether
that
or not
right
you
out
think
the
we should just
get-go.
say that right out from the, right
Yeah.
out front.
You're saying
I
affirmatively
agree.
that we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
We're just letting you know as a courtesy.
yes,
Okay, I agree.
Right.
Cause yeah, everything I
And
can
if
see,
you
their
wish to
driveway
discuss, we can meet with you. or
extends
what.
out into our street and
Yeah.
ditch line.
Okay,
If one of them has a culvert that just got discovered because it was buried, and the other one doesn't, it kinda gives them an opportunity to decide whether they want a culvert or
Mhm.
not, which they would have to buy.
Right.
And we would put it in.
right,
I see,
And that would be a discussion.
correct.
So both are true, is that we're gonna cut back that pavement one way or the other. But they could put a culvert in if they want.
yeah,
Can you
So if
compose
they
that?
agree, yeah, so if they say they agree to the culvert, would we be responsible for buying the culvert and then billing them?
How was that done in the past?
generally that,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we would buy it and they would,
and we
Cost
would
share,
take on
so
the labor to
we
put
would
it
do the
in,
labor, they would pay for the
just pay
culvert.
for the culvert,
Yeah,
Right.
gotcha, beautiful.
also, that's the discussion, you have enough notes?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I'm good.
Vote on that, say, all in favor? Do
Aye.
that, 3-0?
Yep.
You okay with that, Widow?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm
Like I
sorry,
already wrote
I'm
3-0.
trying to, I'm trying to decipher the handwriting here for the next bullet item that you're. And it looks like raving, and but I think it's raking.
Yeah.
No, there's rave party.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Are these rave parties on the beach, or are these raking parties on the beach?
Oh, the power raking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know,
So, this is, you're talking about the connection Tony has?
yeah,
So, I had a discussion with Tony, I don't wanna get into my commissioner's report.
Oh, yeah.
I was doing a little more exploring of the beach, little P. And he talked about, one of his relatives has a skid steer attachment that he called a holly rake, which is kinda like a rototiller screen, it crunches everything up. And he thought it would do a great job of unpacking the compacted sand at the beach, at the same time taking care of the weeds and the roots.
Hmm.
And he offered to ask if they would come and do a demo on the beach. And I said, if he's willing to do that, fine. But I really think that, well, I like to know what the price is before I ask anybody to do a demo. Cause
Oh.
if his price is out of reach,
Right,
then I don't wanna waste his time and think that we want
Right.
him to do free work for us.
Yeah.
Right, so that's what I was thinking. I believe, I haven't talked to him personally, the guy, but I believe it's $125 an hour. So if he were to come, say to do a demo, let him go for $125, give him an hour, see what he does, and see what we get, if it's
How
something.
much it, does
Right.
in an hour,
I mean,
really.
with this, you're only gonna get this thing done on Geneva, Idlewise, and that part of Boulder Beach. You're not gonna get the other part of Boulder Beach, you're just gonna get the sandier part of Boulder Beach
Yeah.
with the roots and the rocks and everything on the other beach. It's not a piece of machine that's
You
gonna
can't do
go
that,
on
yeah.
that side where the outhouses are, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you're gonna get so, I mean, as far as how long it take to do those 3 beaches, you're not something you're gonna use on Deuces or Portage Shore. You know what I mean? A machine like that's not gonna get on there to do those beaches. So you're talking the 3 beaches, for that price an hour. Like I said, he could come and demo it maybe for an hour for us. To see, pay him and see if it's something we're interested in doing, or, or not, I believe that's the price, like I said, without talking to him personally.
That's just an hourly rate.
An hourly
We would
rate.
need an estimate also from how long it would take to do those 3 beaches.
Well, right, he'd have to take a look, and
Yeah.
see, like you say, this is the area, this area, and that area, what do you think? And he'd give us he does this a lot, so he'd be pretty stiff on his, I would think.
You really need it on Geneva?
Well, that's another thing,
It's not
that
compacted.
beach, huh?
Geneva's not compacted like.
Right, you might not, and
It really isn't any grass.
right, exactly.
oh, that's nice.
And I mean, even, I don't even know about Idlewise, I haven't really been out there much, but I know that, what happens again, when they're not being maintained as much as they used to be when they were raked more, Mother Nature kind of starts growing in a little bit on it.
Oh, yeah.
But, food for thought.
Yeah, the only other thing is, not sure what happens when you just, I don't know what the machine does as far as grinding up the vegetation that's growing there, is whether that really solves the problem or just is reseeding it, versus taking it out by the roots and getting it out of there.
Right.
What I started doing is piling it up, pulling it out, piling it up near the row of rocks at the edge of the road to actually slow down the water coming off the road,
Oh.
coming right onto the beach, is letting it dry out up there between the rocks and see how that works. So, do you wanna confirm that it's 125 and that he's gonna transport the machine for that 1 hour price? Cause I don't think the machine would stay on Little Beach for an hour to do.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking, is I'm not sure, with something like that, it'd probably go pretty quickly.
So if he can do the demo for a total of 125, and we'll see what happens with the vegetation that gets ground up by this thing. And that'll be it that we do for this year, that would budget for next year if it turned out by the fall that it came out pretty good, that
Right.
it stayed pretty good.
Okay, so Boulder Beach is the experiment here,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'll make a motion that we approve a total of $125 for a skid steer to rake, process the sand on Boulder Beach.
second,
Aye.
aye,
3-0 on 125.
So when the tire blew on the big truck, the front tire, there's always, complications, the ripple effect.
International?
Yeah, it blew the fender apart quite a bit too. So he's been looking for a new fender. Driving the other
Maybe-
day, what?
Valaderos?
Yeah, hauling material the other day. A rock came flying out of the front tire, and it took. I like to drive with those little side windows opened, and it blew a rock into the side window and shattered that.
Oh,
So he's getting a window for that. But also, I heard a noise yesterday driving that truck, and I brought it down to him because it sounded something in the rear end and the tire, and the hubs, or which the rims sit on, or the hub of the truck, are all worn out. So that the tire was wobbling on the hub. So he's looking into getting some new hubs for that thing. So the truck is off the road at this point. Because he said, "You're not driving that."
Where did the tire blow?
Well, the tire blew a few weeks ago on me on 16.
Oh, that's right,
Right.
yeah.
I'm just, not that caused this
No,
thing
but
with the
it's
hubs,
more-
but it caused the thing with the fender, and it caused the thing with the window,
Right.
right.
which led us
Ripple
driving
effect.
down the road to cause the thing with the hubs. So hopefully he's getting a few phone calls in, and I'm hoping to hear back from him. And if they can't send a guy or get a guy to deliver the parts up, we're gonna go down and get them to get that truck back on the road as soon as possible.
We should
To continue
get
what
in
we're
touch
doing.
with Primex. We have glass coverage, depending on the amount for the side window, it may be covered.
Yeah. Okay, that's a great idea, Nancy. So he's looking to get a fender, and he's, the fender, if it didn't come today, as long as I get the hubs to get the truck kind of back in order. But that's what's going on with that, so again, unfortunately, another speed bump for the ditching.
Our
Because I'm
parts-
still waiting to get the 2018 back.
Mm.
They told me that's still in pieces, and they're trying to put that back together, so I let them know that I'm not Johnny homeowner here waiting for a rig. I said, you guys had all the parts there, this truck should have been an in and out, and now I'm over 2 weeks. So he's telling me I might get that back by next week, the beginning of next week. So that's where we're at,
Are
and
parts for the international generally available, or is that getting harder and harder?
no, they should be generally available. It's just what supplier has something right now and could get it sooner than later. But yeah, that's
I
where
think you
we're
said
at.
international. You're talking about the Ram.
Well, I was
No.
talking about the international,
No,
and I
I-
jumped onto the Ram.
It's the hubs on the international.
Right,
that-
Wood is still concerned about the international. So.
Because that was our primary truck for hauling.
Right,
ditching
correct,
material,
correct.
right?
I was just throwing the Ram out there because at least we're not dead in the water if we had that, but without that,
Right.
without this, so I was giving you a progress report on the
I
Ram
also
as
asked 'cause
well.
the
I
international-
jump into things sometimes.
The
I'm sorry.
international's an older vehicle, is that 2009, what is that?
Yes.
So, that's why I asked.
Right.
Are
I
parts still
understand why you're
available?
asking that, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's, that still should be out there, cause I think a lot of those things are
Oh yeah, they're still on there.
interchangeable, you know what I mean, so, yeah, so it may need new rims as well. So, it doesn't take long for something like that to warp. I thought it was a rock that I kept hearing bouncing around, cause that's what it sounded like, and this morning I said, let's take this thing over and get it looked at, because I couldn't find any rocks
So-
in there.
What are hubs, first of all?
So you get your axle, and then off the axle where the tires sit are the hubs. The
Oh.
rims sit on the hubs,
Oh.
and then they get bolted together to stay there off the studs. So,
Cap covers the hub.
right. Yeah,
Just seems bigger than a,
wheel.
yeah.
So, you're the one who said last week, you asked me to start thinking about replacement for the international in the
Yeah.
Oh,
the not too
yes.
distant future.
What are you getting?
Between last week and this week, nothing, but now that you're telling me this is just like, ooh.
Well,
Now
it
we
is a
better look.
conversation that should be had at some point sooner than later.
Yes.
Like we
We've
find
kind of
more.
touched on it here and there over the last couple of years, but, yeah, I mean, a big truck like that's big money.
Yeah, all right, we won't go into that now, but we'll be talking offline.
Yeah.
Start thinking about the future.
Because, this truck is older and there are things that are going,
Yeah.
but that's what I have.
So, are you keeping good records on Appenzell Way as far as reporting to FEMA which days
Yeah,
it was worked on? And
yeah,
it's the same pieces of equipment, same guys all day,
right,
but I just wanna make sure that.
Yeah,
you have that.
I'll detail it all. I have it all in my daily every day, what day,
So
when
when
we're
you
hauling.
finish,
I've
you'll
got
give
the-
it to me and I can
I've
do
got the
it all.
tally, yeah, I've got all the tallies on how many loads and,
And this week I need to figure the 2025 fully burdened labor and charges. And the minutes from last week say we're gonna have a set
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
charge to the water system when they
Mhm.
assist on that,
Yeah.
so. I wanna call FEMA and see, call New Hampshire Emergency Services and have them say that I should keep the faith. Cause we haven't seen any reimbursement money, we just have the advance, and it's now May 30th is when I did my first official request, and now it's July 22nd, so I don't know if that's reasonable or not. You think it takes all of June and now all of July, 2 months?
Well, I think there was a while that they were holding everything until the budgets were done, and there were some other things going on in the state that
Mhm.
they were
2 days later, the
holding. It did get passed,
signed the
you
budget,
know,
and I
but-
sent that to my liaison at Homeland
Right.
Security. So, I'm gonna ask this week
yeah,
for an indication of what they're able to say. And, cause part of it is I have to do all of 2024, and I have all your records of the ditch material that came out by day. And I did go back and found invoices for stockpiling 3/4 inch and 1.5 inch. And do you have any records that say when that might have gone down, what happened? Because I think the ditching material starts, those records start in August. That sound familiar?
maybe, I
Well, you
also
didn't
believe
have
that
the,
there was stuff that was written down too that said gravel and tons of gravel that went down in the road that it went down on too, I believe.
And
Was all part of that notes.
I'll look again, I
Yeah,
didn't notice that.
it would be 3/4 gravel, 10 tons, 3/4 you know,
Okay,
that type of
let
thing.
me look at that again.
Um,
And I'm kind of looking for an indication that I'm not wasting my time reproducing all of 2024 for New Hampshire emergency management when nothing's happening and
yeah, I
the
know.
news keeps talking about, now the federal government seems to be flipping back into supporting FEMA.
Yeah,
because it's
Yeah,
needed,
Because
Texas.
Texas is
Yeah.
it's needed,
a mess and Virginia's a mess now.
Yeah.
So they're gonna, it just looks to me like decisions are made about FEMA based on the current disaster. And does that mean that after these disasters are taken care of, then they're back to hacking FEMA away again? I don't know.
Well, if they've already allocated the money, then that money should simply just be getting passed on.
I didn't expect to
but-
wait to get into July, when we were talking about the strategy for the annual meeting. I wasn't thinking that it would be July and we still hadn't seen any checks,
Right,
but that's the case. So, if we don't get any checks, we're gonna have to adjust our road plan, maintenance plan. Switch back to regular maintenance,
mm-hmm.
get gravel down on roads, I think, but
Yeah,
we'll see. Maybe we'll go well into, maybe we'll, at the end of August, we'll decide. Cause now we don't have much construction time left. We have September and a little bit of October,
right,
and then the show stops,
yep.
and we get ready for plowing.
Well, I think we need to review how much money has been sunk so far into these projects, and then we also had the warrant article for the, what was it, 50,000 for road work?
That was the loan
That
that
was
we
the
would
loan.
take only when we saw, three of us were convinced that New Hampshire Emergency Management is really coming across with the reimbursements.
right, and that's not happening,
Yeah,
at least not yet.
and at this point, I'm not sure I would take the loan out
Yeah,
with the amount of time left to actually get anything done.
Right.
And I'm still looking for an additional 6-wheeler contractor.
We are.
For the ditching?
I am, yeah, I
Okay.
discussed it yesterday. It
This
turns out that I heard that the director of the Madison DPW purchased a used Madison 6-wheeler.
Wow.
I don't know if he would be open to renting it, even working part-time for $5.
Renting it with a driver,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because renting the truck without a driver doesn't help us.
right.
I don't know if you need a CDL, I think when you load that up with material, you're across the
Yeah.
weight that you need
Yeah.
a CDL license to drive it 116 and 113 particularly. So anyway, anything else for Jeff?
I had one more thing I
Go
just
ahead.
thought of, is the Buffalo turbine. Remember we talked about Alan contacting the guy?
Yes.
Yes.
The way Alan's told us all in the past, is the way he told them is that, that tank has to be drilled with a bigger line, which is what John Deere doesn't wanna do,
Right.
is drill into that hydraulic tank to create, again, there was a port that they used with a 1/2 inch line, when the book specifically says it needs to be at least 3/4, preferably an inch. They put the 1/2 inch line, they didn't get the pressure, the right amount of pressure, still too high. So that's where John Deere sort of said, well, this is what we're doing right now. All I get is, well, they're in the experimental state still, and I'm not getting any answers from
From
them,
John Deere,
from John Deere.
the local distributor.
Our local guy can do it like he did the Volvo and set it up and have that thing working. But again,
No, let's be
that's
clear.
voiding the,
You're talking about the local John Deere distributor, or were you switching back to?
I'm switching back to
Albany.
Valderas, yeah. No, John Deere has still come up with nothing to fix the problem.
Right.
And won't let Albany modify it without voiding the warranty.
Correct,
Right.
So,
that's where we're at.
We're back to square one.
It's back to
so
where we, yeah,
Until we're past that warranty, we can't touch that.
right. I mean, the warranty, I think we're by the initial warranty that the machine came with, as far as what I talked with them about the tire. But we, I think, bought an extended warranty that covers X, Y, and Z. It doesn't cover the whole enchilada like the initial warranty, if I heard that correctly, from the woman last I spoke with, but I don't know how that goes as far as this thing. I don't know.
Well, John Deere's aware of the problem, right? Whoever your contact is
Yes.
there? And has he specifically told you that who was the other person who could do the work to make the blower work?
Albany Service.
If Albany Service were to make those modifications to the John Deere to make the blower work, has the John Deere rep said that'll void the warranty?
Correct.
He
Yes.
has.
Yes. Yeah.
And the hydraulics is something we've had issues with on other pieces of equipment.
Yes.
So I would think that would be something we wouldn't wanna take a chance with.
the outriggers is a hydraulic feature of the backhoe, and that we had
Right.
ongoing problems that took a long time to resolve with that,
Right.
and that was covered under warranty.
Correct.
So if we modified this, they would have a reason to tell us that if the
It's-
outrigger started to fail again, that's our problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful purchase.
Yeah.
There's no adapter that, it's the pressure's too high, right? That's what
Pressure's
blow-
too high.
Nobody makes an adapter reduce the pressure, so you're not modifying anything, it just goes into the existing fitting and reduces down to the.
There's nothing out there that they're telling me to make it work,
Oh, man.
It's its own separate line that needs to come back off the machine right into the tank. And that line needs to be at a certain size, which, like I say, John Deere put a size in there that was too small, so it's not gonna work, or it doesn't work. He took it down from 1,500 PSI to 750 PSI. Well, it needs to be at 150 PSI for that
Oh,
machine
jeez.
implement to work. So, the guy at Buffalo Turbine said the same thing, that,
Yeah.
they said at Albany Service, and that's the proper fix for that. And that's what we did with the Volvo, and it worked fine.
Well, we can't jeopardize the operation of the backhoe
Right.
for the blower,
Right.
because given the trade-off, to make the blower work, we can't risk not having the backhoe be able to load the trucks with sand in the wintertime. Or the other way to look at it is, do you want to live without a warranty on the John Deere to make the blower work?
No, I don't wanna.
No, I think that's
I mean, once the warranty is passed, then we can revisit the question, but,
What's interesting is that blower didn't work on the Volvo unless the Volvo was modified away from its original spec. So what backhoe does that thing just work on without getting modified?
I don't know.
Well, supposedly Cat runs the third line, the right size,
Yeah.
but
No good answers are leaving out here.
No,
yeah.
no, but like I said, I don't think that we should risk
The warranty?
the warranty. Because like you said, in the middle of the winter,
Well,
if something happens to the backhoe, we need it, you know?
should talk to Ian about pressure reducing valves.
That's what I was sort of asking about, yeah, pressure reducing valves. If one could be,
Would they
make
consider
them
that a
real
modification
I have
though?
one in my house.
oh, I'm not saying that they're not something that's out
Do you
there.
remember the pressure numbers they're talking about with the hydraulics on that? How many pounds it currently puts out that's too high?
I'm not sure. Like I said, all I know is for the blower. The numbers I threw out there were stuff that
For the
Yeah.
blower to
For the
work.
What's the blower want for pressure?
150 psi, no more.
but the line coming out of the John Deere, you said was 750?
Yes.
And that's reduced.
So the pressure reducing valve in my house knocks my pressure down from 125 to 60. So you can get one. They're about this big. And Alan could certainly modify the connection to the hose that goes back.
Well, is that something that's done with hydraulics? I mean, that's a whole different
Yeah, I don't
ballgame.
know.
mean,
I
isn't
don't-
that
I don't know.
water?
True.
Well, that's the point. It may or may not. But people make things like this.
Oh, no, I understand. There's all kinds of valves with
So
hydraulics.
let me see what I can find out about hydraulic pressure
I mean,
reducing
you would
valves.
think people at John Deere would know these things, it's a simple thing that I'm explaining to them,
I know,
which they
and they
ought to
know
know
what
as
you're
well.
talking about.
Right.
But that, I get nowhere.
Yep.
People, you have to talk to people who really want to solve the problem.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
And we really want to solve the problem.
Well, I hear you.
We don't have an answer this week,
No,
so no blower for you this week.
right,
Stay tuned for next
Again.
week.
right. But that's what I have.
Okay. Anything else for Jeff? Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Enjoy the day.
So you can't dish today without the international, huh?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
You try to use the RAM?
So,
We
You
don't
don't
have
have
that
a dump.
either.
You don't have a dump body?
Well, yeah, the water truck is set up for
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thanks, Jeff.
you got it.
Want to come up here, Dinah?
Pardon?
Want to sign checks up here?
Waiting for Jeff to go to his next question.
Great, so was I. That needs 2 signatures. So at 9:48, we move to commissioners' reports. Yesterday I measured how much more piping we would have to do if we had to run the new Bergdorf line past the intersection with Aspen and up Aspen to reach Grissom. And that was gonna be an additional 475 feet of pipe, which was not great to, 425 feet
Yeah.
of pipe,
400 what, 25?
right? But don't worry about that,
Okay.
because then I looked at Ian's email from last week
Mm.
and looked at the tax records of the addresses of the houses on Aspen. And you saw that he wasn't sure about number 8. And I don't know if you got to see the email I sent out yesterday afternoon,
Mhm.
where there is no number 8.
Correct.
I don't know why there's no number 8, but it goes right from number 6 to number 10.
It was a merge.
And so number 6 Aspen has the biggest house number sign in the entire village. And I have a picture of it, I'll send you guys. It's gotta be 3 by 4, carved,
Sure.
huge. It says 6 Aspen, which I thought was funny because that is the house. And then I found, because we scanned all of the cards.
Mm.
I was able to go in and find the card right from the comforts of my
Nice.
house with my laptop and sent pictures of the cards that you guys can see too.
Mhm.
So we know where the curb stop is. Jennifer had verified that they were a customer, and then I looked for the card.
Mm-hmm.
So Ian called me this morning because he saw the email that I sent last night and said that it definitely is fed. Number 6 is definitely fed from the pipe coming down from the cluster at Grissom. Comes down Aspen, not up. So number 2 Bergdorf, we now know, has a service line that runs through the woods and
Mhm.
goes back towards the water main that we now know is fed from Gretchen,
Right.
separate zone. And I guess they should never connect. Because they're 2 separate zones, they're
Mm.
operating at different pressures. So this morning, I went and measured from the intersection of Bergdorf and Aspen to where the curb stop is at number 6 Aspen. We don't know
Okay.
whether, what the main is doing at that point. But it's 70 feet from number 6 Aspen to the intersection with Bergdorf. So instead of 425 feet, it's only 70,
Okay.
75. So if you're in favor of it, I'll make a motion that we ask Simply Water to now move their excavation operation up to number 6 Aspen, locate the main, and put the adapter on that to connect to a 4-inch main that will go down to the gate valves on Bergdorf and Aspen.
Second.
I wanna, a second for discussion. I do wanna ask them whether we need a 3-valve cluster if it will never be connected to Gretchen, cause it's a different zone. Why put a 4-inch capability in the cluster, in the valve, to something that I need to ask them whether we would ever actually run the main. We might run a main if somebody wanted to build a house, but we could run the main up the other way. So I need to talk to them about whether we need a 3-valve cluster or a 2-valve cluster at the intersection of Aspen and Bergdorf. But what I need was for you to vote to approve Simply Water
Doing the
doing
excavation.
their excavation,
Mhm.
which he says he's coming in next week. He come in next week with his excavator.
Okay.
I thought I'd have the Bergdorf project completely done by now.
That's exactly what we're proposing to do it is. We're making a motion is right where do you want them to excavate? I'm trying to picture this.
Let me bring up the email that I sent. Do you have the email that I sent with the picture, with the maps? I sent you maps.
Okay, I'm sure I do. CSV record for,
It's this one.
I see a card. Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
There's the intersection, there's number 6's lot.
Okay, yep. Okay,
That's where Google draws the streets, and Avatar has the tax map overlaid on it, and the streets don't line exactly up because Google does it by detecting what the satellite can see, and the trees obscure it, and that's not really where the tax map says the lots and the road really is. But it's that lot.
okay.
That has a house on it, and is fed from the pipe coming down Aspen from Grissom, the intersection with Grissom.
Okay. And so the gap is up here, it's a different pressure zone once you reach Crotch.
That's right.
Okay,
The water main comes around this way, we just now know that it continues up Aspen and feeds, number 4, number 2 and number 4 down here,
okay. And
but doesn't come up here.
then it dead
This
end-
house came
dead
down the
ends.
other way.
Okay. So, just make sure I understand. So we can still put the main in on Bergdorf, it'd just be on the pressure zone in this area.
We're gonna do the 300 and something foot
Mm-hmm.
original specified run to the intersection with Aspen.
Right.
And now we know we have to turn and go uphill up Aspen.
Yep.
To where number 6 connects to the water main that comes down Aspen from the intersection with Grissom.
Okay.
It's kind of weird that the lot is mostly downhill from the intersection with Aspen. Just this corner is on the uphill. It's not really bent like that. That's Google doing that. That's not the way the road really goes.
Right.
But it's right there that they have their curb valve
Mm-hmm.
shut off. Can't see anything on the ground, but the card, there's a telephone pole right there, and I measured the 12 feet 3 inches off the telephone pole to see where the shut off should be, which was just checked by that last round when those guys went out and checked everything. So that's where Ian will start, and he has to be able to find this one because he can follow the service line from the curb stop right back to the main.
Okay.
So Ian is fully on board with this?
Ian's waiting for me to say
Yeah.
the commissioners voted this
Okay.
way or that
Yeah.
way for
Right.
him to do it. I'm gonna contact him today to say
Okay,
what the result of our vote was.
okay.
We didn't vote yet, did we?
No, Nancy second.
So we're still having the discussion.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
It does make sense.
We gotta find that
Yep.
line.
So I've never experienced so much exploratory exploration in a year. We had Stuart do it on Bergdorf,
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
and Ian dug
Mm-hmm.
twice now in 2 areas where we couldn't come up with anything. This one's should be guaranteed that we find the treasure this time. We have bad treasure maps.
Nothing's ever guaranteed.
Where are those original water system designers?
And he's been dowsing and seeing water run in the area. That's been confusing him as he tried to find it
Oh,
at the
wow.
intersection.
There's a lot of underground water there that
Wow.
has nothing to do with our water system.
No.
Hopefully, that's my point, is hopefully we don't discover the source of his dousing,
Right,
being the water main here that
I
we're going
see.
after.
yeah.
Alright, so how do you vote?
Aye.
3-0 on approving the extension of the project up Aspen to the number 6 end of the water main. Okay. We talked about Belmore
Mm.
and the signs. I got the order in over the weekend. I sent the order acknowledgement that has the pricing on it. We
Mhm.
saved $147 by getting it in on this sale, 35% off, and it's under 300 that we're actually paying for. 12 signs that say no parking allowed on any roads.
Mm-hmm.
One sign that goes at the end of Parchor Drive regarding the parking in the cul-de-sac, and 2 signs that go in the Hotwell
Oh.
parking lot.
Yep.
And you should think about where those signs are going and how big they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we'll end up, I don't know if we were talking about putting one of them on the bus stop.
That's where the old one was.
Right.
The other one was up by,
But the old sign has to stay on we didn't change anything about that sign. I think that sign talks about the school bus parking of the people letting the kids get on the school bus.
There's one sign that says 30-minute parking only
Yes.
at the school bus. And then the sign that then the new sign will be below that,
Okay.
that says what you can and cannot park and for how long at the Hotwell parking lot. And there'll be one on the shed and one on the post.
that's the one we removed, that was on the bus waiting area shed. That was the old sign.
That's not the 30-minute sign?
No, that's just the one we
Okay.
removed, yeah,
Right.
the old rules.
Okay, so you got an idea where these signs are going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The signs should arrive on or before August 7th, to give you an
Okay.
idea. And then the police will enforce the new ordinances when the signs are up.
Yes,
On Jungfrau, Warder and I Saturday went and looked at this. This card about number 12 Jungfrau is completely wrong.
yeah,
And
there's no house there.
not only that, that's not even number 12. Never mind, there's no house here.
Oh, okay,
This drawing shows, this is Jungfrau, and the telephone pole referenced on this is on the opposite side, the downhill side of the shoulder off of Jungfrau. Jungfrau goes like this. The downhill side is on the west side of the road. The east side of the road goes uphill. There's nothing across the street from this telephone pole. I started looking at this by finding this telephone pole and trying to find this whole setup. Which was misleading because the house numbers are wrong in this drawing. And Woodard came to look for it, starting with house numbers. I went to the telephone pole. I found this telephone pole and found a service line sticking up out of the ground, which is what they typically do when they put a curb stop in but didn't connect it to anything. So I measured between pole number 5 and pole number 6 is further down the road. And I have the measurements that is 47 feet from pole number 6 and 51 feet from pole number 5. So I'll create a new drawing after we verify that that pipe sticking out of the ground does have a curb stop, which means go out with the metal detector and see if it detects a curb stop down below the pipe. So we'll fix this up and make a record of this. Should the plow or something else cut that black line off, and now we lost track of where
I don't
that
like-
curb valve was.
I don't like how that's sticking up like that. That doesn't seem like it's something that should stay like that.
They do that every
Do
time they
they?
put a curb stop in.
Could that pipe be for the non-existent house that would become number, oh, no, I'm looking, no, excuse me. Cause I showed you the curb stop, which was right before 14. We were right over here. It was
I believe that
14 or some-
the curb stop you showed me is the one that the people are looking for.
12.
That is number
That
12.
is 12.
12,
Because you did it based on the existing house numbers.
yes, yes,
And I didn't use the house numbers. I went right to the pole,
right.
and I found the pole, and the pole is not in front of number 12 at
And-
all.
And you found that mysterious pipe coming up.
Right, so I want to document whether this is a curb stop separately from solving the problem of Jennifer answering these people is,
to whether
the
or
question is, can they connect to that curb
Correct.
stop, right?
Right,
I think the answer is yes.
Yes.
All set on that?
now,
No.
one of the things that could be confusing, we renumbered Jungfrau after the fire.
The High Hill Lodge?
Yep. Because that house had an
Aspen,
Aspen
yeah.
address, so we renumbered. So that could be part of the confusion as looking at something that says it's this number, but it might not be that number anymore.
That's why you confused me. You said there was that house that used to be like, I think number 8, had that light for the address.
Yes.
But the house was 10 that we saw now.
By a metal EPOA sign.
Yes.
Right,
That was far enough away from the house, not even on the driveway, to make me question whether that number 10 was for that number. And what you're pointing out is that house could have been number 8.
correct.
And the reason they're not lighting up
But
that
now
electric
it's
sign
10.
anymore is that it's number 10.
Well, according to
Correct.
Google
So the
Maps.
tax maps, so I know the name of, there's a family name on the house that used to be number 8, could be number 10. And I
Right.
can verify how the tax maps will have the correct numbering.
Yes,
Yikes.
yes.
So I
But-
need to
but
relook at
as-
Jungfrau.
As everybody's looking at things, I was like, wait a minute, that could be part of the confusion is that we have renumbered Jungfrau since that fire, to get it, because that house did not have a Jungfrau address and it only access was from Jungfrau. So we
Okay.
renumbered Jungfrau.
But pertaining to the curb stop that I found and showed Mark on Saturday night, it's clearly a good distance away from 14. That's clearly numbered. There's no doubt that that's 14 Jungfrau. So that lot before it, would be
Should be
12.
12.
Is 12, and there is a driveway cut. Somebody started cutting the driveway, it goes downhill, but it's
Uh-huh.
there.
So I will take the metal detector out and verify that what I found does have a curb stop on it. Then I'll check the numbering scheme against the tax maps. And we'll see whether everybody's labeled. And the idea of the ordinance changing where before you can get a driveway permit, you have to have a number up on the lot so that we're not guessing at where the lot is
Yeah,
even more important now after doing all this.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay. And park. That's all I have. Have anything, Woody?
Yeah, people are watching us,
I have
'cause-
one more.
Go ahead.
Before I forget,
Okay, go ahead.
I want to propose that we have a special commissioners meeting this Saturday on the beach.
What
It
beach?
just on Idleways Beach.
The cookout.
Solely for the agenda of listening to people tell us what they would like to see in the master plan for Idleways.
Okay, I have master plan down here under old business. Did you wanna go talk about it more?
I actually want to I'll make a motion that we post a meeting on Idleways Beach for Saturday at the same time that the EPOA is doing cookout. I'd like to get feedback from the EPOA directors and anybody that wants to offer their opinion on where Idleways should go in the future.
Okay,
Start our program there.
we're gonna be there anyway, so.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. I'll second that.
Any further discussion on that?
do we wanna start at 5?
Is that when they start?
I think that's when it starts, isn't it?
I think so. No,
I was gonna say, somebody's gotta have the
so,
EPOA meeting.
Is it an EPO meeting or is?
No,
or
they're-
It's just a
No,
cookout,
no,
social.
they're having a cookout.
Cookout on the beach. Well, let's just meet at 5. It's right around it's right around the right time. There's gonna be people on the beach and they're gonna be setting up even earlier than that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. This is the way to do master planning.
Okay. On the beach with food. Okay, so clearly people are paying attention through Madison TV. Some people are, because I've had 3 people approach me offline, saying they were very concerned about the, well, first they came out and said they really like the kayak reservation system, and they're real concerned about what our discussion was, that we are probably getting out of the of doing kayak reservations next year. And then one of them suggested, this was not coming from me, said, well, could the EPOA take over the reservation system so it still exists in the future? But, you know, you guys, it's no longer, you're out of the business and it's no longer your problem. So I said I'd bring it up and say it's probably a viable solution if the EPOA is willing to undertake that. So I'm just putting that out there. That's
Okay.
I've had people talk to me about this.
So when it comes time to resolve issues of people putting kayaks on a rack that's open, that doesn't belong to them, then what's gonna happen?
Well, hypothetically, if someone called you next year and had a complaint, you just have to redirect them to whoever the designated contact at the EPOA is. So call them. It's not we're not in that business anymore.
Okay, but then it's
Are
determined.
we talking that we're not in
people
the
are-
business anymore?
Well,
When did that happen?
we,
That we're not in the
Well,
kayak?
there was a comment made a few weeks ago, about the possibility of going back to first come, first served.
Correct.
right.
And that's,
No decision was made.
No,
We were
No.
gonna, you were gonna find out whether you had access to the online database or not.
correct,
And last I heard, that wasn't clear yet.
correct.
And it still is not clear?
No, because I haven't needed to
Right.
access
Okay,
it. so-
I'm bringing it up because during that discussion, my take from it was that that seemed to be a sensible solution for us to get out of that business because we got more important fish to fry.
Now, are you saying that without knowing whether the EPA wants to do this or not?
That's correct. It would, in other words,
Because if I remember, when this was first came about, they had no interest in being in charge of canoe reservation
right,
programs.
and I told this person, I said it all depends on whether the EPA is willing to undertake that. So I don't know that answer,
And
but I'm willing to bring it up for discussion.
So you need some kind of response if people continue to ask you questions like this. That's what you need today.
Right, all I could tell them, I said that, that, you know, we did discuss the idea of going to a first come, first serve. They were a little nervous about it because they really liked the reservation system. And then one person said, well, what if the EPOA takes it over if the VDOE no longer wants to do it? I said, that's maybe a viable solution. That's as far as I could take it.
So right now, there's been no decision to change anything.
No.
But among
No,
this
that's
board,
not.
right, that's correct.
So, that's what I will say if I'm asked, is that we're trying to get the administrator to get access to the database so that she can answer questions about it and resolve issues.
Yeah, but it's not just resolving issues, it goes further than that. There's a lot of time that is spent to try to determine if a person that has a reserved spot is using other spots on that rack or other spots that are empty over there. So I'm trying to help people out by trying to determine whose kayaks are these? Do they belong to anybody? It's a lot of time, you can't resolve it in one day, it goes into the
Right.
next day, it goes into the next day. And from my experience, the last time trying to do this, it wasn't very pleasant.
Right, and that's what I think part of the last discussion was, then, you know, why are we as a
Correct.
governing body,
Trying
I'm
to
not,
resolve.
I don't wanna say wasting time, but devoting an undue amount of time when we've got bigger fish to fry. And then maybe this would be better, handled by another organization, cause I think,
Well, then they need to understand how much time is gonna have to get devoted. They're gonna need access to, everybody's
it
information.
would not be through
Who
the
they-
EPO, it would not be through the VDOE website anymore if somebody else is managing it.
Correct. It would be
So it
taken
would,
off the website.
it would be off,
It
And it
would
gets
go on the
complicated
EPOA
because-
and it gets
website.
complicated because now somebody else is managing district property.
And the
because-
DPW.
They don't know
And the DPW.
how to get in contact with the
Right.
person, like, I don't have an email address, I don't have a phone
Right.
number, they're gonna call the office to see if possibly I have it, and then when it comes time to, well, this person wants to use the rack and there's somebody else's stuff on it, you're gonna have to call the DPW and arrange for the DPW to come and cut that stuff off, store it at the DPW, and then they're gonna have to deal with the person whose kayaks they possibly belong to try to figure out what happened to my kayaks. I had it on this rack and somebody cut them off. There's a lot,
I get it,
nothing-
I don't have an answer to
I
all.
know, I'm just
Right.
telling you, like, this is the conundrum that
Right,
we're in.
right,
with this whole
I
thing.
just said, if we're gonna get out of the business of managing this reservation system and just go back to a first come, first serve, but if there's interest out there to continue the reservation system, would another organization like the EPOA be
Yeah,
willing to
but
take it over?
you're not gonna get the VDOE's involvement in it out, because that's gonna be
There would still,
impossible.
yes, I agree, and because we gotta remember, that we as the VDOE in certain ways support the EPOA. So there would be certain future cooperative agreements there.
Well,
But I don't know, it's a complicated thing, I agree, but it sounds like you spend a lot of time on,
well, it's just, I couldn't believe that it took that amount of time to try to resolve an issue that really turned out to be, like, I don't wanna ever do it again. Honestly, because I was badgered over the phone and I was badgered over the email about
Right.
it.
and you don't need that, we don't need that.
No. And it still didn't get resolved. I had to remove kayaks off the rack because no one claimed that it was theirs. And people that did reserve it needed their rack. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
And then if somebody does come forward,
Which eventually will happen.
if somebody comes forward and it's their, they identify and it's their kayak, there's $100 fine for having been in the wrong spot.
Correct.
That that has to get collected
And they might not even
prior
be
to them picking it
yeah,
up.
and they might not even be an owner at Idlewise. They might be Joe Schmo's friend that has property.
So were
Could be anybody.
kayaks removed by the DPW from racks
Correct.
this year?
Yeah?
Yes,
Wait, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Did you know about that?
Yeah, I think I did hear that,
Yeah.
at least one, about one, yeah.
That should be in the record. Didn't get in the record, that's a problem.
Correct.
yeah, they
When
were.
did that happen?
Probably 2 weeks ago.
From which beach?
I don't remember the first beach that I had an issue with.
I thought I heard Thusis.
So
No.
next week, can you make that little report and we'll put that in the record,
Sure.
in the minutes?
Yeah.
Good. So, that resolved nothing, and I hope you have a very fun
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
You say.
I mean, or people
It
understand
was-
that it's
Just-
not just an
just
easy,
Tell them
like,
it's still being
Okay.
discussed.
Yeah, just tell me,
Yeah.
it's
there's a lot to
up in
it.
the air.
Also, if you can, next week, tell us how you made out with getting access to the database. Because there's really, everything gets stretched out if you can't just look at the database and say
Correct.
what's supposed to be there.
It does, but he's been very good too. It's
Yep.
not that, I've waited days and days and days to get information. I mean, he
I just recall when we
responds and-
discussed this 2 or 3 weeks ago, we left it where you would get access to the database so
Yes.
that you could hopefully resolve any issues that happened this summer. And then we were possibly considering that next summer, we're out of this business and it's a first come, first serve. We didn't make a decision.
Correct.
We just said that was a
It was a
possibility.
discussion.
And
And
that's
if
why,
I'm
that's why people started approaching me saying, like, we really like the reservation system.
Well, people are able to go back and see what rack they've reserved.
Yeah.
So you
But you
don't
can't.
necessarily need, see, this is the thing, you don't necessarily need me to go in and determine. I'm certainly not gonna tell you who's on what rack. I can tell you that I can reach out to whomever may be using your rack, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's,
I mean-
it's problematic.
It is.
Okay. I think we just leave that there, I'm just putting that out there, what feedback I've gotten since we had that discussion, I think it was 2 weeks ago. That's all I have.
Yep.
Okay.
And I can't
Nancy.
find, my note is sitting at my computer at
Oh,
home.
boo.
So, I'll pass.
Okay,
Really?
Bummer.
so at 10:18, we already discussed the water system
Yeah.
in regards to Bergdorf
Yeah.
Mhm.
and in Youngfrau. There's no scheduled appearances. Administrators report. We don't have anything on the agenda on
No.
you when we covered you for today.
I did submit what I worked up for, cash flow. Should I call it cash flow or?
No, income is very
Income.
different from cash flow.
Yeah.
Very
right.
different.
Okay, so I sent that off to you guys. I guess you could use it as a basis to what you guys needed to review for income anyway.
So you're thinking that's part of the financial review when we look at
For next
the
week.
budget for cash flow, we'll also look at income, the income statement that you made?
That's what she wanted to do.
Yeah,
Right.
since it's all
Okay.
related, yeah.
Right, it's all related.
We're doing that next week?
Yep, we're doing that next week.
Okay.
So would that the cash flow report have to be updated? Like, what are you guys looking for? You're looking for a profit and loss,
We'll be looking for the profit and loss, every ordinary expense and
Yeah,
the
and
budgets,
that's simple.
and the one that shows income. It's one quick swap.
I don't know what you mean, one shows income.
Separate, just the, all income received, right?
Right.
And that was
Which I
everything.
provided
Include water
something
fees,
that
or
I've
just-
worked out because I
Yes.
don't really know what the standard procedure is.
Right, so we'll
That's a
be,
Word file you sent.
It is.
Yep.
Yes.
It's just something that I,
yeah, but
researched and worked
we'll
numbers
put the Excel spreadsheets, to back up that information.
what Excel spreadsheets?
I don't know what you mean by that.
From the profit and loss, from income. So when you go into QuickBooks, you have your profit and loss that shows your expenses.
Correct.
At the very beginning, at the top,
Yeah.
you can swap it from ordinary expenses to income. And then it will show you all your income for the year.
So are you
So
indirectly telling her that she needs to print that out for the?
I was gonna work with her.
She is.
We had, we'd already discussed that I'd be working with her this
Right.
week to go through and put that together.
And then
Alright,
we'll
awesome.
compare what QuickBooks thinks the income report is to Jennifer's Word file to see
Yes.
what QuickBooks may be missing or what, like, okay,
Or what, yes. Yes,
It
we'll be
should.
able, yeah,
because you're getting it from QuickBooks.
I
Right.
am.
right, so they should match.
But that has a human in between it.
They should match, but you
Right.
get your backup, all of,
Okay.
documentation showing where those numbers came from. So,
So will you want the budget, that budget report sheet updated as well?
yeah, we'll probably do the whole thing.
Yeah.
We'll do a full round.
All right, great.
Just think of where we are today versus where we were at this time last year with all of this.
Last year, I think we were just getting
You were winging it.
QuickBooks
We
working
weren't even
again.
reviewing this stuff.
We were
were-
just getting it
Yeah.
in, never mind reviewing it.
Right.
And it worked out fine.
Great strides
I
have
mean,
been made.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
All right, that's all I had.
very good. So at 10:22, we're looking for old business items,
Yeah, did you wanna talk more about?
master plan.
Oh, we just set up the commissioners meeting for
meeting.
Friday,
We're gonna
for
assume-
Saturday.
I'm gonna assume that neither of you had a chance to look at the 2002 updated 2010 master plan online from Madison.
No, I just started filling out that survey that I have online,
Oh,
which I haven't
good.
finished yet, but I'm working on it.
Very good. So, if you guys get a glimpse at that before Saturday, it might
Uh-huh.
be better, and I'll try to get the word out so that people have a chance of looking at it before they come to the beach, which I doubt they'll do, but we'll get it out there where you can go to look at the 2022 updated master plan. 2002, not 22.
20, what is it, 20?
2002.
How long is the
I know, huh?
Idlewise
Jeez.
part portion
There's
about?
two,
Done that
there's
twice
two
already.
sections that are Iowa specific.
Okay.
The whole thing applies,
Yeah,
but there's two sections that specifically talk about Idlewise.
Right, my point is
Regulations.
if we took that, if it was like a page or something, I don't know that it is.
And hand it out.
Yeah, and then ask people to review this, and then, what's good on this one?
We'll
What
take a look at
What
that.
needs to be different,
If it makes sense, then
20 plus years later?
Jennifer and I will make a couple of copies stapled together
Yeah.
and pass out.
And it was all updated in 2010.
oh,
I don't know if the Iowa section was. I don't recall.
I don't know if that got changed at that point or not.
so it was updated 2010, but they still call it the.
Yeah, they did it in a
Yeah.
weird way, is they took the 2010,
Weird,
and then the sections that they updated they took the 2002,
yeah,
and the sections they updated in 2010, at the bottom, in a footer, they say updated 2010.
I gotcha.
So unless you're looking at the bottom of the page, you don't know whether you're looking at the original thing that was done
Yeah,
in 2002,
right,
or whether you're looking at a section that was
That's
updated in
confusing.
2010.
Yeah.
It confused me, because I was at the meetings and they said they updated in 2010, but I could never find the
What-
2010 version
what
until I
could
noticed
you-
the footer at the bottom
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
page.
It's kind of a bizarre way to do it, but
yeah,
that's,
Is there any way to go back and see what was updated, like, or
I thought of
is
that
it
this
just-
morning, is
yeah.
can you see the original 2002 not updated?
Correct.
And I think they might have it,
Oh,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure you can find it online.
yeah.
I don't know if you can find it online, but I'm sure there'd be a hard copy upstairs, you know?
Maybe. Anything else you wanna discuss of the master plan right now? Signature items, correspondence, public appearances, comments, non-agenda items at 10:25, I'll make a motion that we go into non-public session.
Second,
How do you vote, Nancy?
aye.
How do you vote, Widow?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carol. All those checks are signed.